Hi there, and welcome to Today I Learned About. In this show, I'm going to dive into a topic covered on Sam O'nella Academy about Roman animals. I find it fascinating the extreme level Romans went to. Nowhere else in history do we see such mass exploitation of animals for entertainment. First thing I want to start off with is Sam talks about the Venatios.
When they weren't being shown off in menageries, many of the exotic beasts brought to Rome were used in shows called Venatios, which were basically like modern-day bullfights, only instead of bulls, you had whatever crazy critters the state could find.
I love animals, I love Roman history, and oh boy, do I love violence. Tell me more, Sam.
In 203 AD, they had a model of a crashed ship built inside the arena, and an assortment of 400 animals were set loose from the wreckage, and then killed.
So Sam barely scratches the surface of some of the crazy shit that went on with the animals during the Roman times. Let's take a step into PETA's worst nightmare.
It said that Emperor Trajan once held a Venatio lasting 120 days, during which some 11,000 animals were killed.
Good lord titty fuck. 11,000 animals. That is a ridiculous number of anything being killed just for entertainment. That is a rate of 91.5 animals a day over 4 months. Just try to picture 91 animals, and I'm not talking little cats and little dogs, even though that would still be a shit ton of cats, like a hoarder's house full of cats. We're talking at least panther size, probably up to elephant. So picture this, 91 animals, all the effort it takes for the people to feed them, transport them, get them to the Colosseum, all that work just to kill them, but not in an efficient way. No, you now need to make up some fucked up scenario, like a hunt with all the pageantry, like dudes on chariots or that whole boat scene, just to make sense for a bunch of animals to even be fighting each other. And I guarantee it takes longer than just a few seconds to kill an elephant or a lion, unless you have a machine gun or a bazooka, which as far as I know, the Romans didn't have. Then, somehow, to stretch that out over a whole day. Congratulations, now you have an exciting day of pure death. Great job. Now do it again tomorrow, and every other day for the next 4 months. Oh yeah, and by the way, each day better be completely different. My point is, that is a lot of killing. And organizing. Especially through a modern lens, where the closest most people come to dealing with death is picking out a lobster at a fancy restaurant. It's just hard to imagine the large crowds of people with so much bloodlust and disregard for the lives of these animals outside of a SeaWorld. So the Venatios are where animals were hunted for show, and everybody's familiar with gladiators. Then there were...
Sometimes, just to shake things up, they'd have the animals kill the people, which was known as damnatio ad bestias. This form of execution was typically carried out using lions, but other beasts were used as well, including dogs, bears, and at one point even an eagle, although the guy was crucified first, so it wasn't much of a fight.
Damnatio ad bestis, literally condemned by beast. This is where you get the stories of Christians being fed to lions, which happened, but really it was just a fun way to punish convicted criminals. A lot of these convicted men were just sentenced to die on trumped up charges just to fill the need for a live person to be killed. Religion didn't matter. In fact, sex didn't even seem to matter. Women would be tossed into bare knuckle box with a lion with no qualms about it. The criminal would enter the arena with no weapons. If somehow they managed to kill the beast, they would just release another creature into the arena, like, lols, here, try another one. This was strictly a form of execution with a reality TV angle, except this was probably actually entertaining. The house money was always on the beast. Cicero mentions a single lion that once dispatched over 200 bestiarii. So what happens if you're too scared or you just absolutely refuse to go into the ring? A story of one prisoner who refused to walk into the arena was placed on a cart and wheeled in. As the prisoner was being wheeled in, he thrust his head between the spokes, essentially breaking his neck, rather than face whatever horrors the bestiary had planned for him. Today, when somebody's on death row, they're just killed as painlessly as possible. The goal back then, though, wasn't to kill the convicted person, it was to make them pay with pain and terror. Death was just a byproduct of the punishment. And in Rome, they took that pain and fear and they put it on display for everybody's entertainment. They devised elaborate platforms to give prisoners the illusion that they could save themselves, only to have the structures collapse at the worst possible moment, dropping the condemned into a pack of starving animals. They would create elaborate scenarios where the animals would show up to the door with a pizza, and the prisoner would say, "But I don't have any way to pay for that pizza." And the animal would say, "Well, maybe we can work something out." Then there was guys who just did it for shits and gigs. Pure volunteers. These guys did it for money, they did it for glory, they did it for a kick-ass Tinder profile pic. The greatest bestiarii was Caprophorus. He triumphed in a match that once pitted him against a bear, a lion, and a leopard. Oh my. Another time, he killed 20 separate animals in one battle using only his bare hands. He was hailed as the master of beasts. His most impressive feat is he gave 2 cats a bath at the same time without getting a scratch on them. Even the most heartless of bloodthirsty peasants could be saddened watching an elephant get killed. Some redemption for all the elephant lovers out there is a story I found about a particularly gory battle between an elephant and an enraged rhinoceros. During the battle, an elephant picked up a spear that was left there from a previous fight. The elephant used the spear to gouge out the rhino's eyes. I mean, it's not better for the rhino, but yay elephant, right? Anyways, it wasn't all hardcore killing. Some of the entertainment was just your run-of-the-mill animal cruelty. They'd parade animals around in colorful clothes, making them do humorous acts. Bulls would let boys dance on their backs. Elephants playing music while other elephants danced around. Romans loved watching apes do crazy stuff. Of course, because it's awesome. They taught apes to ride dogs, drive chariots, act in plays. Do you know how hard you have to beat a monkey to make it ride a dog? Me neither, but that shit doesn't happen naturally. I guarantee if you leave a monkey and a dog in a room for a year, at no point is that monkey riding that dog without some serious motivation. Will that monkey pick up poo and throw it at you? Absolutely, that's going to happen for free, 10 times out of 10. And as long as I'm not the victim of that, well, that's comedy in its purest form. So Sam sums it up best by saying,
So, moral of the story, if you ever end up in ancient Rome and you want to see some animals, you'll still have access to almost all the same creatures we see in zoos today, and the only catch is that something has to die at the end.
And just remember, next time some lady lets her 3-year-old play by the edge of a gorilla enclosure, and they have to shoot the gorilla because the kid falls in, this would barely qualify as an opening act in ancient Rome. Harambre, never forget. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. So long and stay frosty.